So, all right, so let's talk about another movie you saw, Sing Street.
So I watched this on the one of the fine streaming services that is not paying us to mention their name. So they've got enough free plugs from us. I saw Sing Street, and this was, I think it came out last year. And it came out last year. Indie film out of Ireland, directed by John Carney.
It was an Irish 80s music movie.
Yeah, pretty much. It was really, and John Carney was born in 1972 in Dublin, England. He's the director for Once and Begin Again. So he's done.
Did you say Dublin, England?
Dublin, I'm sorry.
Dublin,
Ireland. Oh, wow. Someone from is gonna pipe
on.
on.
I'd save you right there.
You meant
I hate those emails.
Yeah, you meant.
By the way, fuckface.
Yeah, you meant double in England.
Yeah, he doubled down in England. No, John Carney is from Dublin, Ireland. My Irish grandparents are rolling in their graves that I said England. So he did Once and Begin Again, two movies that I really enjoyed, and this movie is about.
Now, can I just interrupt you for 1 second? I want to say that everyone who was upset over our Brooklyn reviews will enjoy this review.
Yeah, that I was very unfair of Brooklyn in some of your opinions. I just saw the light. You haven't.
Yeah.
But this is Once and Begin Again. A really everything he does is very music themed, and it's a man and a woman, and the music and the relationship and stuff like that. This was really cool because it's about a kid who's 13, 14 years old. His parents are having financial trouble, and he has to go from kind of a nicer school to a more of the Irish version of a public school. So there's a little more, kids fighting and blue collar.
Well, it's a Catholic school. It's run by a priest.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said Irish public. So it's a Catholic school. So, or maybe he was at a nice public school. Now he's got to go to the cheap Catholic where there's an asshole priest. Weird. The guy running a Catholic school was a dick. And he is a quirky kid. We've seen this story before, but as an American, we haven't seen a lot of this through Ireland in the 80s,
right?
Told
through music.
Through music, and so the movie starts. He's got an older brother that's like, kind of Philip Seymour Hoffman's character in the Rolling Stone movie.
Stoner Slackery.
Yeah.
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous, right? He sort of plays that older guy that's educating the kid on, oh man, you need to watch this.
The jaded sage.
The jaded sage, who's a music sage. Mm-hmm. So he's schooling his younger brother, and the older brother kind of missed his opportunities and had to stay around for the family that's going through financial trouble. In the background is sort of the mom and dad always fighting, and how the kid has to kind of deal with it. And so he goes to this Catholic school, and now he sees this girl, and he just starts to talk to her, and she's like, I'm a model, and she's the most beautiful girl in Dublin, and she's like a year older. He's like 15, she's 16 or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm in a band. She's like, awesome, and he's like, all right, I guess.
Will you be in our video?
Yeah, will you be in our video? And she's like, for sure. And he's like, and turns to his buddy, we got to start a band.
Yeah.
So it's all about that, and he does. If you told me here's a director that's done 3 boy-girl music, it'd be like, they're all gonna be too repetitive. No, they're very different. They're very not. And there are some similarities, but it's a really cool story. It's a great movie to check out.
I actually loved it. I thought Sing Street, it was really, really fun and funny, and it also had that nostalgic feel to it. What I like about it too is not only do you like when you set a music movie in the 80s, you hear Duran Duran and all those things, but you have, since they are in a band, they're writing their own music. So that's not an easy thing to do. You have to write 80s music, in 2017 or in 2016.
That's the thing that that's a great point, is whoever wrote the music for these. So they had to write music that sounds like Irish teenage boys in the 80s, and they're being influenced by Duran Duran
Yes.
and The Clash. So it's like, and then you see like something what would happen to him, and then
They had to buy a keyboard.
right.
They had to get their Elyse ADATs.
Yes.
Geek joke for recording
Any of you sound nerds are gonna like that. So that was like, wow, I was like, these songs are really sound like a high school band from that era would write, and he's awkward with
That's
girls.
a really hard bullseye to hit,
Oh,
is to
man.
make it something you want to hear, but it's just amateur enough that it's believable. I mean, that is
Right.
that is a really, really hard.
And they nailed it.
They nailed it,
Yeah.
and I think they did too. As their music progressed, like they'd release a song, and then the older brother would be like, "Yeah, you're getting there, but you need more of this," and he'd throw some albums in and like, "Listen to this," And so they did a great job of like you say, Paul, the hitting the bullseye of their first song, their third song, their seventh song. And it's like as they sort of
The
progress,
singing gets better.
the
Everything
singing gets better.
What a great idea, too, to show the progression as they get turned on to different music.
Yeah, it's the kind of you kind of felt like, you could almost see the documentary 30 years from now talking about, we were all mates in school and we, just trying to impress a girl, and you're like, oh, I'm seeing this sort of acted out.
Did the director write it as well?
That's a great question. So the movie was written by, so John Carney directed it, and it was the writers are Simon. Oh, John Carney was one of the writers. The story was by Simon Carmody, and then John Carney did the screenplay. So it's really cool. There's some real heartfelt moments. There's some funny moments. There's some like, oh man, like this is the reality of. It's not the bleakest of bleak, but it's like this is tough. You're in Catholic school in Ireland. The priest can beat the shit out of you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
It's your fault.
It's
that
your
happens.
fault.
And it takes place in Dublin?
Yeah. Dublin, Ireland.
Yes.
So it's really cool. And
There's a lot to like about this movie.
There really is. And then like the parents are played by Aidan Gillian, who was in The Wire. He was one of those guys when I first saw him in The Wire as the young up and coming.
Isn't he also in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, he is in Game of Thrones. Maria Doyle Kennedy.
Who is he
And
in The
also
Wire?
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, he's in Dark
He's
Knight.
in the opening scene.
He's in the opening scene
Oh, right.
of Dark Knight Rises. He in The Wire is the young up and coming guy that becomes mayor. He's the young like council member.
Oh, yeah. He's a great actor.
Great actor. The Wire, I didn't know he was Irish. His his Baltimore accent was so solid. And then the woman who plays his wife, Maria Doyle Kennedy, is she Irish? And they play husband and wife, and they played brother and sister in Queer as Folk in 1999, which is a cool. And there's a lot of like Back to the Future references. It's a fun. If you're just at home looking for something to watch,
Check it out.
Check
for
it
sure.
out for sure. It's a solid little film.